The hidden cost of cloud computing, using remote sensing principles to analyze industrial growth and land surface temperature changes in Loudoun County, Virginia. I used Esri Story Maps as my presentation platform. So I'm going to scroll down this website to talk about my research project. I decided to analyze satellite imagery that would tell me about the impact that data centers are having on this county, Loudoun County, that's located in Northern Virginia. Why I was interested in this because I was curious if satellite data could tell me if industrial expansion was accelerating. So wanting to know if the built environment or just urbanization was occurring because of these data centers being built all over the county. I also know that with urbanization comes urban heat island creation. So I wanted to know if that was happening as well. Additionally, uh, other than is urbanization I know is happening and wanting to know if an urban heat island is being produced. I chose Northern Virginia because it really is ground zero for data center growth in the United States. It's also the birthplace of our modern internet. Northern Virginia has been home to the original internet infrastructure. It's really close to Washington, D.C. But Northern Virginia specifically has been the hub for fiber optics technology. And also, this region of our country is where 25% of the world like computing processing power takes place. Continuing to scroll down, I included some additional information about Loudoun County. I'm not going to go into the depths of this, but I felt it was really important to just give some more context about this county that is just outside of Washington, D.C., that has been experiencing some intense growth over the past 10 years. So it's just right outside of like DC, like I said, right outside of DC, very close to like the like Dalles and the Dwells International Airport. Um, and what once was rural has become suburban, and now what is once suburban is starting to become industrialized. But it's in addition to these data centers being built all over the county, they've just had like a really big like population increase too over the past 10 years. It's about 22%. So I've got demographic information here that you could check out. And then some additional information about the quantity of data centers that have been built over the past 10 years. Right now, there's about 199 data centers that are operational in this county, with 117 in the pipeline, with 84 of them having site plans submitted. And this picture doesn't really lie. This is truly like the close proximity that these data centers have to these cul-de-sacs. And then I also included, again, some more context about the impact of data centers in Loudoun County. It goes into challenges that the state is facing, challenges that residents are having. And so I figured, this study using satellite imagery could contribute to the storytelling and investigation of what kind of impact these data centers are having on not just the landscape, but the people that live within them. So focusing on my methodology, the first image I'm showing you here is just a sample of August 2024. This is depicting some urban heat mapping that has taken place. So August 2024, land surface temperature map depicting 3 large concentrated yellow areas. To the left over here, we have Loudoun County. In the middle, or to the right of Loudoun County, we've got Washington, D.C., and then to the northeast, we've got the city of Baltimore. For my So with this method, I was using Landsat 8, like Oli and TERS imagery. I was investigating bands 5 and band 6 to analyze any kind of like built environment accumulation. So this is like looking at the differences of surfaces from vegetated areas versus built up areas that include roads or buildings, um, anything that's reflective of like uh, human generated developments. So I also, in addition to like looking at the built up environments, I was looking at band 10 of the TERS data, because that really is like what is used to identify urban heat islands effects. So there's a correlation between them. The two platforms that I was using for my spatial analysis was ArcGIS Pro and Google Earth Engine. So I've supplied some additional information about Landsat 8 and the two sensors that were used to generate the satellite data that I leveraged for my investigation. But jumping down to the analysis piece. I created some data visualizations that compare 2014 versus 2024, doing a multi-temporal comparison. And so just looking at like the built up environment, to the left we have 2014 and then to the right we have 2024. So with this little swipey tool, this is 2024, and the bright pink versus the blue and versus the blue, bright pink signifies buildings, right? Or it signifies like cities being built, towns being built, homes being built, roads being built. And so you can see this is 2024. And then here, this is 2014. This is 2024. 2014. 2024. So I was able to identify a significant shift using the normalized difference built up index, or NDBI, between 2014 and 2024. There was a surge of plus 0.74, which indicates it signals an extreme urbanization. So this is a big shift, a huge shift in land coverage. Next, I looked at land surface temperature. So again, I have a data visualization here using. So what we're looking at here on the left is 2014, and then as I swipe over on the right is 2024, and where there is bright red, it signifies high emittance of heat coming off of the land. Right, so 2014, and then 2024. So that is a huge significant change. Before I talk about what the actual temperature increase has been, I was also looking at, specifically what data centers, what temperatures were they giving off. So 2014 versus 2024, there's one business, one data business called the Yonder Group. They selected a site in Loudoun County. What once was, you can see here, once was green, is now very yellow and on the way to becoming orange. So 2014 is before construction, and then 2024 is after construction. And so before construction, this green indicates there's just a lot of vegetation, a lot of forests, a lot of meadow maybe. And in August, the average temperature was 87 degrees. But then in 2024, we saw a rise in temperature to 104 degrees. And this is after the data center's construction. So overall, like with this specific data center site, there's been an increase of 17 degrees, or 9.5 Kelvin. So it correlates the convergence of like vegetated land to data center infrastructure changes, confirming too that localized urban heat island formation could be caused by industrial data center sites. Um, so again, like focusing on like my results and also the limitations, we've got like a 17% land surface temperature change over the past 10 years. And there's been a significant increase in rural to urban land coverage. And there are some limitations to my study. Some include, my satellite image acquisition dates. So July of 2014 was used instead of August 2014 because cloud coverage during July was less than 15%, whereas in August 2014, I wasn't able to acquire satellite imagery from Landsat that had less than 30% cloud coverage. And I picked August because it is the hottest month of the year. Maybe if I were to do this again, I do a comparison of like hottest and coldest month for the analysis. But I just wanted to share this because this may have skewed my results. There's also, so another limitation is a claim that only data centers have caused land surface temperature increases. This could be misleading because, like I said earlier, there's been a huge population increase, which means more shopping malls, more schools, more grocery stores, more buildings, more housing in the area. I also, a limitation to my research is that I've only analyzed like one data center. There actually is no authoritative data set for referencing all the data centers located in Loudoun County. This also doesn't exist for the entire United States. So by me just selecting one data center site and making a claim that data centers cause urban heat islands, this could be misleading. But for further discussion, I think there is some validity in the urbanization that's been happening in Loudoun County, with correlating to why there has been a land surface temperature increase. Um, that's just fact. And what with the population increase happening too, like how is that contributing as well? So wanting to investigate that more. Um, but at the same time, like concluding, like satellite images don't lie. We know that prior to 2014, there definitely were not 199 data centers in Loudoun County, and now there are. So that is a pretty stark contrast with what uh, previously there wasn't and now there is, and what type of temperature changes there have been. So this is my project. That's my presentation. And thanks.